What's up, guys? Today we're going to do a video on how to do a headlight restoration. The kit we'll be using is a Sylvania restoration kit. I know there's a bunch of different ones out there from different brands. I've just used this one a bunch of times and it seems to last really well. I'm in California, so we get a lot of sun, a lot of heat, and even out here, usually it'll last about 4 to 5 years before you need to redo it. This kit is usually about $25. You can get it on Amazon. That's where I found it. It's usually in parts stores as well. It's a lot less expensive than buying and installing new headlights. So for 4 to 5 years of good use out of a $25 kit, it's pretty good. So here we go. All right, guys. So step one is to make sure your headlights are clean. I usually just clean them with some soap and water, scrub them down, make sure that they're dry before you start. And then step two is you want to apply the surface activator. What this does is it helps break down all the gunk and grime and oxidation on the headlights and kind of starts to wash it off, so you start with the clean lens. So what you want to do is just spray it, make sure the whole headlight surface is covered. You're going to want to let it sit for about 30 seconds. As you spray, you'll start to see the yellow oxidation start to come off the headlight already. You want to do this to both headlights. So now that we've let that sit for about 30 seconds, we're going to rinse it off with some water. Okay, so the next step is we're going to use the 400 grit sandpaper. The specific kit comes with 3 different sets of sandpaper. You want to use the most coarse one, 400. And what we're going to do is wet the sandpaper and wet the headlight and sand the whole thing down. Once we're done with this, we'll rinse it off and dry it, and it should look cloudy, and that's okay. That's normal. That's the first step. Want to do even circular motions. Apply some pressure. Make sure it stays wet. Now that we're done sanding with the 400 grit sandpaper, we're going to rinse off the headlights and dry them and make sure that they look cloudy and feel smooth to the touch. Now that we've verified that the headlights are nice and smooth and cloudy after the 400 grit sandpaper, our next step is the 1000 grit. We're going to do the same thing, keep the paper and the headlight wet, and sand them for about 5 minutes each side. Now that we're done with the 1000 grit sandpaper, move on to the 2000 grit. This is the finest sandpaper, and it's the last sanding step. Same as before, we're going to wet the headlight and the paper. Same with firm pressure for about 5 minutes on each side. Now that we're done with the 3 sanding steps, our next step is to take the clarifying compound and one of the white towels provided in the kit. You're going to put about half the packet onto the towel and spread it out and rub it in with firm pressure to the headlight for about 5 minutes. Once you're done with this side, you're going to use the rest of the packet on the same towel on the other side and do the same step. Now that we're done with that, we're going to wash the headlights off completely and dry them completely. There should still be a white haze to it. That's normal. It's part of the process. So let's go ahead and see how they look. Now that we're done with that, you can see that there's still a nice haze on the headlight. We're going to use a surface activator again that we used in the first step. Completely soak the headlight, let it sit for 30 seconds, and then wash and dry them one more time. Now that we've let it sit for about 30 seconds, we're going to rinse the headlight off and dry it. At this point, too, we want to make sure that everything is dry around the headlight so that no water will run onto it. It's very important in the next step that it stays dry. So this is the final step. We're going to use the UV block clear coat. the towel that came with it and a glove. I chose my own glove because it fits better. What we're going to do is we're going to wet the end of the towel. We're going to use that to apply the compound to the headlight, and this will clear into a nice clear coat to help protect it from the sun and other damage. This is where you get the clear lens part from. So now I got the towel soaked. I'm going to go ahead and apply it. Now, when you do more strokes, you want to overlap just a little bit, but you don't want to try. You want to try and avoid going over the same spot multiple times to disturb your last layer. If there's any spots you missed, you can go ahead and touch them up while it's still wet. And then once this step's done, we need to let the headlights sit. So you don't want to drive the car or get it wet for at least 6 hours, and the surface should start to dry in about an hour.